I think it has to do exactly with the name of the research strategy, community-based and participatory. For Pacific Islanders, it's one of the hard to reach populations. You need to engage them, right? If you really want to recruit them and retain them, you need to have them as part of the CBPR protocol. And as a community and as a community-based community that's founded on family, that's quite important. And in order for you to retain them, or after you recruit them, they need to be part of the process. Excellent question again. And I think it also has to do with the history of the Marshallese. We've gone through quite dramatic history in the islands, especially when it comes to nuclear weapons testing program and the effects on the community and the population when it comes with healthcare and health outcomes as well. So some of the pitfalls that I've seen over the years is, researchers coming to the islands or coming to the community wanting to do research, quote unquote, whether it is any kind of research, and most of it that has to do with collection of samples. They forget that history or they do not know that history. And because of the history of us being experimented on, being subjects of research projects in the past, it's hard for us to just establish trust, especially among those who are outside of our community, somebody that we don't know. No, basically, if you need to work with the community, you need to establish that trust, establish a rapport, and exactly explain everything that you're trying to do with the community. And they need to be part of it. And the main question that I usually don't see, and it's a pitfall I see for some of the projects, is how is that research going to benefit the community? Okay, and it's not just about you putting out the paper as part of the academics and putting it out there in the publications, but how is that research supposed to affect that community, good or bad? And they also need to be part of that decision making from the onset to the dissemination of the results. So I think that's one of the pitfalls. One of the things that I know that is, the community enjoys and they like to take part in research projects is when they're actually part of it. Okay? They're not just on the outside, they're not just giving us, but they're actually part of the planning from the onset. And, they're also part of the dissemination. They like, if you're going to collect something from me, we would expect you to report it back to us, whether it's good or bad. As we mentioned earlier, they need to be part of the process. And not just in terms of being reported on or reported back to in terms of a dissemination of results, but actually be part of it. What I mean by that is, you got to have at least a community board, a community advisory coalition board that's part of that. Before you work with the population, you need to talk to them first. What exactly are their priorities? What exactly is important for them and not necessarily for the researchers? And what topic areas they want to be addressed? How would you as a researcher be helpful to that community? Because if you don't provide that and you're just there to get the information for yourself, that is not going to benefit the community. Then your results will probably be skewed or probably not be there enough. So you need to at least do some focus groups, ask questions. What is it that the community thinks is important for them? What are the topic areas? What are the issues, and how you can be helpful? Then you need to formulate or form or establish that community advisory group that's going to advise you as far as culture wise, if you're doing it correctly, because not everything that we do in academics is culturally appropriate for us. And if it's not, then we won't be as involved as we should be. So that's part of the process. They need to be part of the process as you're trying to do all these things for them. And in terms of dissemination of information, again, from the get-go, they're part of it, during the research part of it, and then at the end of it, they should also still be part of it. And I think that's where some of the conflicts come into play as well, because ownership with academics and ownerships with us is quite different. So if you're actually having them involved and being part of that team, then they also have ownership not just of the data, but actually of the project as well. So that you can help them that way in making them understand. If you're going to do things and collect information from us, but you're going to tell us that it's not going to be owned by us or it's not going to benefit the community as a whole, then that can cause a conflict as far as participation of the community members. Yeah, absolutely. And I think what I've seen as far as what the University of Arkansas for Medical Sciences has done, especially here in Northwest Arkansas campus, with the Office of Community Development Research, how they've been doing it is exactly a good example of how others should be doing it. Where at the end of the project, and as you're going through the project, and you let them know that whatever information you gather, you will share with the community. And what they've done, and an example, which is I think is a great example, is what we've called town hall meetings. And at these town hall meetings, it's nothing formal, okay? But it's a cultural festivities of some sort, where you mesh the academics with the community, and you report back to each other, and you try to answer questions. You remind them what the research question was, and then you tell them what the project was, and you tell them what the results are, and then you tell them what is going to come after that, okay, and how that benefits the community, because that one research project that you're going to do with them, it's going to open up other doors to other research projects that they will be willing to do because they see that it benefits them in different ways. So that's one example that I see is a great way of disseminating the information, is having these town halls and having food as part of it as well. Because for us as Pacific Islanders, you really want to engage us. We love our dances, we love our songs, we love our food, as we're kind of like family as we're sharing together. And you don't want to separate the two. You want to make sure that academics and the community are meshed in one as part of a big party of sharing information. No, I think it's great that I think it's important for researchers to understand their community members, and I think community-based participatory research is a great tool because you engage the community and they take part of it and they own part of the research protocol, and they feel like they're contributing to the future of their communities in the future.